Hey, welcome to episode of Chad's Beer Reviews with special guest Joe
Joe from
Senegaglia. Did I say your name right?
𝓑𝓮𝓬𝓲, second G silent, but everyone
Okay.
I've heard that my whole life.
All right. Well, today we're doing a beer from your neck of the woods. This is a good old arrogant bastard ale, 7.2 ABV. And it's interesting that they say brewed and canned by Arrogant Consortia. We all know that's Stone Brewing. And mine was canned on October 18th, so what, a little over 3 months old. So I'm using the IPA glass, and coming out of the can, it's kind of like a chestnutty brown, but also has like a ruby hue, and I get a pretty huge, I'd probably call that like beige frothy foam. How's yours look?
Say it exactly like yours. I was actually just looking at yours on camera. It is. Mine you can see just because there's light in front. Oh, I guess you can't see.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There's
Yeah,
the
you can
ruby
see
part of it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny. I was looking. I'm like, dude, I don't have any stone glassware. All of mine broke over the years. I'm still trying to keep it semi-local though. We're using an old Lost Abbey glass.
Yeah, it was funny. You were saying off camera, it's like such a nostalgic aroma.
It really is.
Yeah, it's like I get like super pine resin on this one.
Pine resin, and then for me too, it's really like brown bready.
Yeah,
It's got that like it's almost without the spices, like holiday, which reminds me of like a holiday beer for some reason.
yeah, that's a good. I hadn't thought of that, but well, you know what it is? It's probably like the pine smell because like so many like it seems like so many IPAs now they don't use like Cascade or
those old sea hops.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this beer they use Chinook hops, which is like Cascade like on steroids. It's like super resiny.
I was going to ask you too. What size is your can? Do you have one of the big? Is it a 16-ounce can or what is that?
Yeah, it's either 16-ounce or 500 ml.
Okay, yeah, I think it's the 19.2-ounce can. But
you got the big stovepipe can.
Yeah,
wow.
You know what's crazy though? This beer was $2.49. I'm like, for a 7% beer in that big of a format, that seems like a pretty good deal these days.
Yeah, it's we can actually put a pin in that because we'll come back to that on the podcast. So, you want to dive in here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
cheers.
Cheers. Cling.
Holy smokes, that beer is bitter.
Yours is a little fresher than mine because I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty bitter, but I feel like I haven't had like super bitter beer in a long time. It's like nobody like all these hazy IPAs and everything these days. Like they're actually low bitterness, and I miss like the old Stone Ruination or even like Heady Topper that was like 100, 120 IBUs or something like that.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Someone just mentioned that I think Stone put out OG Ruination again, so I gotta see if I can find that. Speaking of that, but yeah, everything you said you smelled, the pine resin, it's definitely there. My can is 2 months fresher than yours, so I think I'm getting a little bit more of the hot bite to it. But yeah, this has to be a high IBU beer, right? Like, I don't know if it says.
I think I checked their website. Like they haven't changed the marketing for this beer in like 20 years. Like it's all like it's like hops classified, IBUs classified.
I think their website used to be like, warning, you're gonna hate this beer. You're not gonna like it. It's too much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that. You used to be able to get this like in 22-ounce bottles, and it would say like you probably won't like this beer. It's like you don't. It's doubtful you have the sophisticated palate to appreciate it or something like that.
It's so true though too. And speaking of when we do the podcast, I'll tell you this was my introductory to craft beer. And when I first had this beer, I'm like, there's no way I can't drink this. It just absolutely murdered my palate.
Yeah, it's a surprisingly kind of has like a creamy texture now. Maybe it's just like all the foam.
It's a chewy beer.
I thought it's odd because I was going to say the mouthfeel is, I'd probably put it like medium tops, maybe medium full, but it's not.
I feel like too though with these old like West Coast style beers, I don't remember them even being medium back in the day. It's so crazy how my palate has changed over the last 15 years of drinking beer, but I remember these being a lot thinner, and this, like you said, medium mouthfeel. It's I don't know. I just don't remember it being like that.
Yeah, I wonder if they're just putting like a dusting of like oats or lactose or something in here to like give it that kind of capitalize on that haze craze. Although, if they did, like they filtered the hell out of it because it's very clear.
It is super clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, the amount of bitterness still that's on my tongue from this, it's wild.
It's lingering here too. Yeah, and I would say it is like a bit. There's it's weird because like red beers like this, they have like a certain 𝓑𝓻𝓮𝓻𝓂 character to them. Like it's hard to explain. It's like this. It's a toasty kind of maltiness, but also I would call it like abrasive or something, or I used to get like almost like a burnt rubber kind of character on some of them. I'm not getting it on right this one though.
You know what's funny is I'm glad that you said burnt rubber, because there's been times where I've drank hoppy beers and I said it reminded me of like when you drive by somewhere that's pouring asphalt. Same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I have no clue what that is or where that comes from. But I'm glad somebody else knows, like notices that and knows. Like I feel crazy when I say that.
I would say like it's actually kind of refreshing, like to drink a beer like this hoppy or like this bitter. It's like all the hazies are like what 30, 40 IBUs. And this, so I think like the intense hop character on here makes it feel like a bigger beer than it actually is, because this is only 7.2 ABV.
That's sessionable.
Which is like, yeah, that's like borderline session beer.
We always joke around on my channel, anything 7% under is team low ABV. So this is right, at that threshold. Yeah. Could you imagine what somebody who started their craft beer journey a year ago with hazy beer, if they drank this right now, what they would think? They'd be like, what is this? There's no way.
I know. And it's like, but I guess that this beer has kind of stood the test of time, because like when this first came out, like the only, like the, well, I mean, like there was IPAs and there was a handful of double IPAs, but like have you ever seen that documentary Beer Wars?
Nuh-uh.
It came out in like 2008 or something. I wish they would make a sequel to it, but like Greg Cook, one of the founders of Stone, he was like talking about making this beer, and he's like, we just wanted like to make the most like balls out like thing that they could think of. And I mean, so this has stood a test of time. So it's like, as arrogant bastard, well, it doesn't say on the can, but like on the bottle used to say, you don't have the palate for this. Like they were talking to lager drinkers at the time.
Right.
And they're probably talking to like hazy drinkers now.
Of course. What he always used to call it fizzy yellow beer, right? It wasn't that the big thing for Stone? Fizzy yellow beer. Yeah, no, they kind of took the smack talk off of these cans, which is kind of a bummer. It does say drink fresh, you numbskull, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I don't know if they started a whole separate company just for arrogant bastard, because like I know they do like the double, and like there's like an oaked version, and there used to be like that Lucky 13 one, and I haven't seen any of those. It's it's really funny. Ever since I moved to Florida, like I only see like the core Stone releases down here. We don't get like
which is kind of crazy, because they have a spot in, where is it? It's on the East Coast somewhere, isn't it? Like it's not that far from you. It's
either Asheville or Virginia.
Yeah, somewhere. It's not far from Florida, so it doesn't make sense. I mean, I told you off camera, I had to stop at like 4 or 5 different spots to find this, which is weird because I'm in North County, San Diego. You would think Stone would be everywhere, but it's everywhere I went. It was just delicious is what everyone has, or Buena Vista.
Well, this is considered like basic bitch now, So it's like you got to go to Walmart or the gas station to get
basic bitch beer.
Yeah.
It's a triple B's. I like this beer though. Like you said, it stands the test of time. For someone like me who got into beer with hoppy beer, this is something that I have not had this beer. I think I did this beer as like my 500th beer review a long time ago, and that's probably the last time I had it. I bet you it's been 5 years since I've had this beer, and it's exactly what I remember.
I could look it up. I don't know. Are you on Untapped?
I am.
That's what I like about this app, because I've been using this pretty much since the day it came out. And so it's like every beer I can look up when's the last time I had it, because I check into pretty much everything.
Oh, you know what? You know what's crazy though is my weird OCD with this app. I started wanting to do just one check-in for every beer. I wanted to try and have like, have you ever seen the people's pages where it's like 5,000 check-ins, 500 different beers? I'm like, oh, dude, you're checking in the same beer over and over and over. I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing it, which bums me out, because it'll probably show that the last time I had this on Untapped was like 2014.
I actually had this in 2021.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So it hasn't been that long.
I checked it in August.
Once a year, apparently.
I checked this in August 9th of 2014 on Untapped.
Wow. 10
years ago.
You haven't had it like at a bar or something since then?
I like I said, I reviewed it probably 5 years ago on my channel, but no, I don't. It's one of those things, dude. Like I just don't go to bars and drink Stone beer. I don't know why.
I know, because like I guess because like it lost its cachet. It's like, I mean, I wouldn't call it basic, but it's just like ubiquitous, I guess is the word.
Yeah.
It's not a white whale anymore. It's a
no. No.
By the way, gorgeous lacing on the glass.
I was going to say the same thing. Look at that. Wild. But yeah, this is just intensely hoppy, bitter. Like I said, I smell like the brown bread thing. I get that out of this, but definitely nothing you would call balanced. My tongue is numb since I've been talking to you. But it's good stuff.
It's almost like a pumpernickel bread or something like German. Yeah. So, I mean, if we were scoring this to style, I mean, it'd be Americans. Like, I feel like this is the only remaining American strong ale anymore because it's not really an IPA and it's not really a barley wine. So they created the American strong ale style. This beer inspired it. There's a few, copycats. I mean, but I like this beer. I don't love it. I wouldn't want to drink it all the time. I think this is something that would stand up to like a really savory steak or like something like really spicy, but it's not a beer to drink like just to drink. Like it's almost like demands you have food with it to like kind of cut it,
Or this is like one of those beers at the end of the night when you're done drinking because you're not going to be able to taste much after this. Like I'm telling you, my tongue is it's crazy.
Yeah,
I remember. I remember this beer being intense, but I don't remember it being how it is now. I mean, I'm enjoying it, but whatever I do after this, I'll probably be tasting this for the rest of the day.
I know you got to drink this beer with a glass of water because
a water back for this one.
Swig of beer, swig of water.
Yeah.
So anyway, my score for the Arrogant Bastard, kind of torn on this one. Like to style, I mean, it's like a 50-point beer, obviously for the style, but this particular can I'm drinking right now, it's good. It's not amazing. I'm probably gonna go like 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10, kind of like B+, A- range. What do you think?
I like it. I'm with you. I stopped grading beers a long time ago just because people started calling me out on it, and I'm like, you're right, and we can talk about that too in the podcast. But
okay,
I'm with you on that. I mean. It's not my favorite, but it's something that's worth coming back to. I think every, like you said, what'd you say? Once a month you drink it, or once every 6 months?
Once a year,
once a year. Yeah, something like that. Around for whatever reason, my brain says this is a holiday beer. Drink it around Christmas time, Thanksgiving, something like that, and I'm good with it. I mean,
I could see that.
$2.49 for this is, I mean, why not just grab one to have? And you could throw it in the fridge. This thing will age fine, just because it's so freaking hoppy.
Yeah, I think they could do a Christmas version and throw. Maybe some orange peel or
something citrus would be good in this.
Like that in there.
Yeah, something to kind of cut down that bitterness would be. I mean, not
like
that
now everybody's doing maple versions of everything. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, just get some sweetness in there,
or just a bourbon barrel aged or something.
That'd be fun.
Anyway, we're going super long, so thanks to Joe for doing this collab beer review with me, and check out the podcast. I'll be talking with him. I'll put a link in the show notes. So if you watch all of the band, you're awesome. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's beer review. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.